Hey guys, have you been having fun destroying everything with Zacian? Or maybe even your Mega Rayquaza? Or how about that Charizard that you just can't let go? Well, clear some space in your boxes because today's video I'm going to be going over the top 10 strongest Pokemon coming into Pixelmon's future with Generation 9. Now, there are more Pokemon than 10, so if you want to see another video like this, hit that like button, as well as consider subscribing. I am doing loads of Pixelmon content, including another season of our Pixelmon Tournament, legendary guides, and other guides, as well as more videos like this. And it would help me out a ton if you guys subscribed. Thanks, and let's just get right into the video. Number 10. Now, this video is in no particular order, except this one. This one is the best Pokemon on this list, so we're just going to start off with it. Pokemon Violet's box art legendary, Miraidon. Miraidon is a dragon electric type with an absolutely busted ability, great signature move, and wild stats. Here's the base stats, and as you can see, it's got solid bulk, phenomenal speed, and a terrifying special attack stat. But that's not the only reason why Miraidon is so overpowered. This Pokemon is quite literally the new Zacian. Miraidon's ability is Hadron Engine, which summons electric terrain on switch-in, as well as increases his special attack while in the electric terrain. So that special attack stat getting boosted, yeah, that's insane. But it gets even crazier with the signature move Electro Drift. It has a base power of 100 with 100% accuracy, and it gets boosted in the electric terrain. This Pokemon is just a sweeping machine, and before you can even think about using a ground type, this Pokemon has a hard-hitting Draco Meteor on standby. And well, I guess you could use a steel ground type, but it also gets overheat to melt away any steel type Pokemon that you can try to counter it with. Miraidon is the new Zacian and will be the premier legendary sweeper of Pixelmon 9. Have a good retirement, Zacian. Number 9. Now, before you guys get worried, this isn't going to be filled with the new legendaries. I split this list to have 3 legendaries, 2 Paradox Pokemon, and 5 of your regular Pokemon. Actually, hey, speaking of regular Pokemon, number 9 is Palafin. Palafin, what a cute dolphin. And these are its stats? Okay, well, why is it number 9? Let's see, ability is 0 to hero. Well, what's it look like in Hero 4? Oh my god! Palafin, while having a different ability in its hero form, is insane. Quite literally the water Superman of Pokemon. With a base 100 speed stat, decent defenses and HP, and a whopping 160 base attack stat, this Pokemon is crazy. However, it does come with the drawback of having to switch him in and then out to achieve this form. But with a niche move like Flip Turn or even just switching out, it is worth that drawback. This thing just hits so hard and the defenses aren't anything to brush over either. Pair that with a pure water typing, which is just always a solid typing to have, and you got yourself a crazy good physical attacking Pokemon. And I mean, the move pool is just so complimentary as well. Palafin deserves this spot, and while the ability is a little niche, the result is absolutely groundbreaking. Number 8. Have you ever been playing Pixelmon, exploring the jungles, and you have defeated many Primeape for attack EVs or, Cocoa Beans? Yeah, me neither. But the point is, if you've ever beaten a Primeape, you need to fear, because number 8 is the big sibling, Annihilate. This ghost fighting type at first glance has decent stats, and you can tell that he can hit hard. But what if I told you that he could hit even harder with his move, Rage Fist? Every hit he takes is an additional 50 base power added to his move. So if he tanks 2 hits, the base power already becomes 150, which is already incredible. It does max out at 6, but I don't even want to think about how hard that could hit. His attack stat is already solid, but paired with this move, it just becomes terrifying. And that's not even including a possible +2 attack thanks to the ability Defiant. If they try to intimidate you or lower any of your stats, you're granted with that +2 attack, which at that point, Annihilate is hitting like the Pokemon version of Goku. Good typing, decent stats, great ability, awesome move, and you got yourself a potential sweeper or even just a name that makes every tanky Pokemon shudder in fear. This Pokemon also gets access to other amazing moves like Drain Punch, Close Combat, Acrobatics, the Elemental Punches, Earthquake, and Annihilate just makes this list for having the snowball potential to become a serious problem for your opponents, because when used and having all these tanky Pokemon shivering, I don't know many things that can stop this thing in its tracks. Number 7. Well, since we just covered one ghost type, let's keep it rolling with number 7, the guy on the package of your string cheese in the fridge, Gholdengo. This Ghost Steel type, which is already a pretty solid typing, has an astounding 133 base special attack. His other stats aren't mind-blowing, but they aren't bad either, and his signature move, Make It Rain, which isn't just hilarious, has a 120 base power and 100% accuracy, and it makes this Pokemon shatter anything in his way. The move does come with the drawback of -1 special attack, but hey, here's one of the greatest abilities introduced in Pokemon, Good as Gold, which makes him immune to all status moves. So if you've ever thought about hindering him with a status move, forget it. Being immune to Taunt and able to freely use Nasty Plot to raise your special attack by 2 and then use Make It Rain is a trait only an absolute monster has, which, here's Gholdengo. He looks like a monster. He also has a pretty solid move pool to go with it as well, so don't even stress about coverage. They have a Charizard coming in to melt your gold, Power Gem just hit him into oblivion. Zards have never been more afraid. Not to mention Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, the list can go on. Gholdengo is a premier special attacker and shows off that if you get a chance to use this Pokemon, you really have hit the jackpot. Alright, for number 6, let's imagine this scenario. It's the year 2023. You're in an intense Pixelmon battle until, boom, Palafin starts sweeping your team. You have 2 Pokemon left. You send out your Tyranitar, but the Super Dolphin takes him out. However, your Tyranitar had set up Sandstorm, and your last Pokemon has Sand Rush, which doubles his speed, so there's a chance. All your opponent can hear is boss music as you send in Houndstone. Now looking at these stats, yeah, it's nothing spectacular, but then you see the move Last Respects. Added a base 50 power for every allied Pokemon fainted. That can stack up to over 250 base power. This Pokemon could potentially sweep your opponent faster than they can say,
"What the dog doing?"
Now, if we're being honest, that really is all Houndstone has, but that alone makes me interested in his potential. The horrendous speed can easily be fixed with a Sandstorm setter like Tyranitar for good synergy, and the base attack, while 101, isn't too bad, and paired with a move that can stack up to a power higher than 200, makes him insane. Not to mention, he can get access to Will-O-Wisp, Play Rough, even Body Press with his nice defense stat, Psychic Fangs. This might be the most niche Pokemon on the list, but the potential that lies within Houndstone is there, and it shouldn't be ignored, because if left unchecked, you will be paying your last respects. 3 ghost types in a row? 2023, the year of the ghost type? Well, let's introduce some dark types to handle those ghosts, starting with number 5, Chiyu. This pet goldfish is no pushover, as while its HP, defense, and attack are all pretty terrible, it more than makes up for it with its 100 base speed, which is solid, 120 special defense, which is great, and remember earlier when Miraidon had 135 base special attack? Well, let's just copy and paste that over here for Chiyu. Not to mention, this Pokemon has a not only awesome type combo, but a very good one in Dark Fire, which Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Dark Pulse, they've never hit harder until Chiyu swam in town. Now, his coverage is pretty bad. I mean, the only real coverage move you get is Psychic, but the fact that you can hit this hard makes up for it. And I haven't even mentioned his ability yet, Beads of Ruin, which lowers everyone's special defense except for Chiyu. Now in doubles, this isn't super great since you do lower your ally Pokemon's special defense as well, but it is a small price to pay. Lowering your opponent's special defense against a Pokemon with a 135 base special attack is nightmare fuel, and this little goldfish is sure to make people dread having to find ways to work around it. It's also the ultimate ghost type killer if we're being honest. A true glass cannon, but a very powerful cannon, and a tiny little fish. And we aren't stopping there with neither legendaries or dark types, because number 4 we have Diego from Ice Age, chanpow. Now, while ice types in general struggle due to, being an ice type, This Dark Ice Pokemon has a base attack of 120, which is already amazing. Then you see its base speed at 135, and you realize you truly are in a pretty bad battle against this thing. Being able to outspeed so many Pokemon and hit so hard is a trait I'm sure we all agree is extremely useful, and this Pokemon is no exception. Ice Shard, Ice Spinner, Crunch, Sucker Punch, they all hit extremely hard with chanpow. And while coverage isn't super great yet again for this legendary, access to Acrobatics, Psychic Fangs, Brick Break are at least better than what Chiyu had for coverage. Speaking of Chiyu, remember that ability? This Pokemon has that same ability in Sword of Ruin, but replacing lowering all your opponent's special defense with lowering their defense instead, which makes this Pokemon's 120 base physical attack moves hit even harder. In an age where terrains can be pretty scary to deal with, having Ice Spinner to hit hard and get rid of those terrain also just gets so much value. Now, I won't lie, this Pokemon's typing isn't great, but whenever Pixelmon introduces Terastallizing, you could make this work even better. Chanpow can single-handedly restore respect back into the ice types after creating huge dents in teams. It already has Rayquazas, Garchomps, and other dragons from all over shivering in fear. Okay, listen, I know I just talked about dragons being scared of a new ice legendary, but maybe it's time we talk about a dragon, which leaves me with number 3, Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon is bound to be a fan favorite in Pixelmon. It takes everything so loved about Salamence and dials it to 11. It's just become one of Pokemon's biggest threats as well as a late game sweeper, with its amazing base attack at 139 and excellent base speed at 119. And while its defense isn't the best, its HP and special bulk definitely help. Now, Roaring Moon being a Dark Dragon type does mean it fears Fairy types in particular, but when Pixelmon adds in Terastallizing, this is yet another contender that will just benefit so much, especially with going like Terra Steel. It'll even have Fairy types afraid, because it gains access to so many good moves. Dragon Dance for setting up, Acrobatics, Crunch, Earthquake, Iron Head, Dragon Claw, the list just goes on. And with an attack stat like that, paired with an amazing move pool and just all around good stats, Roaring Moon is going to be absolutely devastating. I mean, look at it. It even looks more terrifying than Salamence itself. I didn't even know that was possible. Alright, and coming in at number 2 is a Pokemon that actually isn't going to be a sweeper, but he's going to be an insanely useful Pokemon with a new move that opens the gates for tons of new strategies. Cyclozar. Now, Cyclozar gains access to the new move Shed Tail, which creates a substitute and allows Cyclozar to switch into one of your other Pokemon. Now, while this move is absolutely amazing, it's not only this that makes Cyclozar so good. He also gains the ability Regenerator, gaining health back just for switching in. This is such a good combination, meaning you won't get like a 1 or 2 time use with Cyclozar. You can just use them a ton, and it has such great sustainable ability, and it's a good combination with the utility moves that it gets. Gaining access to Rapid Spin for hazards, as well as Knockoff to get items off your opponents. And while he's not a sweeper or some big tank, he is absolutely amazing and a pretty reliable support Pokemon with extremely good utility moves and an amazing ability to pair with it. Alright, and finishing off this list is number 1, the ultimate Fairy Ghost type, Fluttermane. Having the same base special attack stat and speed stat as Miraidon, as well as a 135 base special defense is absurd. Now, it is frail in the regular defense area, but honestly, that's really Fluttermane's only problem. Everything else makes this Pokemon a true menace, having a good move pool, the ability to tank special attacks as well as outspeed a majority of the meta, and it has an insane special attack to go with it, is huge. The ultimate Dark-type Slayer, the ultimate Dragon Slayer. You'd think that being able to hit this hard with Moonblast and Shadow Ball is enough, but it comes with an overkill of good moves. Good coverage moves like Mystical Fire, Psyshock, Thunderbolt, a good setup move in Calm Mind, and it even gets other moves like Energy Ball and Power Gem, and it gets tons more that I haven't even talked about. The queen of the Ghost-type Pokemon has arrived, and it is without a doubt Fluttermane. This Pokemon is bound to be a sure staple in just competitive Pixelmon servers, and I think just Pixelmon in general. And that is it for my 10 of the strongest Pokemon coming into Pixelmon in the future updates. Did you agree with this list? If not, or if so, just comment down below. It honestly just helps me with the algorithm. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. And I'm looking forward to all these Pokemon being added into Pixelmon. I know Pixelmon has been adding Pokemon from Generation 9 for a good bit now, and they continue to with pretty much every update. That's why there's some Pokemon that you thought might have been here, like, you know, Skeledirge, Meowscarada, but they're already in Pixelmon, and I wanted to make sure I cover ones that aren't already in Pixelmon. So, like I said, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, comment down below, help that algorithm out, and, yeah, click this video right here on screen to watch some more awesome Pixelmon content, and I will see you guys in another video. Peace out.